Hello, everyone. Welcome to our conversation today as a part of the Career Insight series. This is a set of series run by Career Services to showcase information for all of you about information about careers in sustainability and the environment. To refresh all of your memories, we do have some other programs going on next week. You'll see we have a sustainable finance panel, which is a part of the All Ivy Environmental and Sustainable Development Career Fair. And then next Friday is the All Ivy Environmental and Sustainable Development Career Fair. So I will drop the link in the chat. But we are here today to learn ways in which you, as a student at Penn, can get experience while you are at Penn in the environment and sustainability field through some of the exciting offices that we have on our campus. And so I'm going to have each of our speakers introduce themselves, and then each of them are going to have a few quick minutes to share some slides with you and share a little bit about what it is their office does and how you might be able to get involved to gain additional experience in sustainability and the environment. If you have questions as we go along, please feel free to drop things in the chat. So Katie, why don't you kick it off and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your office?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Katie Bailey. I'm the director of the Environmental Innovations Initiative. We're based in the Office of the Provost, and we work across all 12 schools and many centers at Penn to support research and teaching on climate and the environment. And I'll get into that a little more in the presentation.
Great. Thank you.
We're just going introductions right now, right?
Yeah, just introductions. Oscar?
Hi, everyone. I'm Oscar Serpel. I'm the Deputy Director of the Kleinman Center for Energy Policy. We're housed at the Weitzman School here at Penn, and we are celebrating our 10-year anniversary this year.
Thank you. Nina?
Good afternoon, Nina Morris, Sustainability Director with the Penn Sustainability Office, and our office is housed in Facilities and Real Estate Services, and we're charged with the implementation of Penn's Climate and Sustainability Action Plan, and I'm going to talk a lot more about that shortly.
Thank you. And Emma?
Hi, my name is Emma Dennison. I'm the Communications and Student Engagement Manager at the Water Center at Penn. We are an applied community-focused research center housed in the School of Arts and Sciences.
And last but not least, we have Jillian.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Jillian Seener. I'm the Director of Student Programs at the ESG Initiative at Wharton. We are a research center housed within Wharton, but we offer lots of extracurricular programs to students across the entire university that I'll tell you a little bit more about later for students like yourselves interested in the intersection of sustainability and business.
Thank you so much. So we are going to have each of these presenters spend a few minutes to share their screen and tell you a little bit about the opportunities there. So we're going to start with Katie.
All right, let me go ahead and share. And get this in presentation mode. And 1 second. Are you seeing my presenter mode?
Yeah, I think you just need
just let me switch it. Is that better?
You got it.
Okay, awesome. All right, so happy to be here. As I mentioned, our office, the Environmental Innovations Initiative, we have a mission to catalyze solution to significant real-world environmental challenges. And we do that looking at 3 main tracks: stewardship of nature, climate action, and societal resilience. And we enact that work on Penn's campus in a variety of ways, as I mentioned, focusing on our research and teaching missions here at the university. So I'm going to go through basically 4 ways that you can work with our office to, build your resume, get great experiences right here on Penn's campus. On the research side, on the education side, through advising our office, and then through working directly for our office. So the first is on research, and I'm going to sort of give an overview of some of the programs here, but dive more deeply into the first one, which is the PPA Renewable Energy Research Program, which is a granting program that we run. In addition to that, though, Our website and our team in general is a great way to find mentors for research that you want to embark on campus. We have a great group of 15 faculty fellows from every one of the 12 schools who work on these issues, climate and the environment, from their different disciplines. So definitely check those out. We also are currently running 7 research communities who are embarking on projects on a huge variety of work. The Water Center here is one of them. Shout out to Emma there. And these are ongoing efforts to build interdisciplinary work on different aspects of climate and environment, from education, climate education, to agricultural work, to stormwater management. So another great place to kind of just get a sense of what research is actually happening on Penn's campus. And then we also on our website have a faculty database. So it's a great way to just look to see who the folks are on campus doing work specifically framed through the Sustainable Development Goals. But I'm going to dive now into, let's see if I can advance. There we go. Into the renewable energy research program. So this is something that we run with support from the whole university, and Penn Sustainability in particular. This is funds that we receive as a result of the power purchase agreement some of you may be familiar with. Penn obtains some credits for clean energy through some really impressively large solar arrays in central Pennsylvania. And as a part of that contract with the energy company AES, we receive a gift of $50,000 a year to support renewable energy programs. So this is a grant program that is open to you as students to apply to pursue some aspect of energy research. The deadline is, the call is open right now, and the deadline is March 14th. So please check that out if this is a space you're interested in. We're already funding some student-led research and have some interesting proposals that we're discussing for this year as well. Okay, so education. One thing that our office thinks about a lot is how do we make sure that Penn students are getting the best education in sustainability and climate and the environment that they can, that we're meeting their needs, that we're anticipating, areas that might become important for future careers. And we kind of need your expertise as students to address these areas. So there's a couple of different programs that we run to kind of provide this feedback. As before, I'm going to dive into the first one in a little more detail, integrating sustainability across the curriculum. But in addition to that, we are part of a climate and health education working group, which is open to you as students, where we are tracking and trying to promote and enhance educational pathways that address that really important intersection of climate and health. We're also, as EII, we're working with our student advisory committee, but we're opening this up to other students as well to be part of an education task force, where we're actually going to be putting together a report for Penn leadership. It's a student-led effort to kind of talk about what do you want Penn to be doing in this area going forward. And then many of you have probably already seen this resource on our website, but we do have a course inventory. So as you are literally tracking, putting out your path for your education while you're here at Penn, you can go to our site and find what courses are currently available related to climate and the environment. It's searchable by your program and by topic area as well. Let's dive into integrating sustainability across the curriculum. This too is an open call. Right now we're looking for students to apply to be part of it. It's open through March 3rd. And what this program does is it's a way of basically increasing the amount of curriculum content that we have that addresses climate and sustainability. So the first stage of this program is inviting applications from faculty. We just finished up and selected the faculty courses that are going to be part of the program. They are either new programs, new courses, or existing courses that are going to be building in sustainability content. So these faculty are then paired with paid student researchers over the summer who contribute to their curriculum. It could be building out a literature review. It could be thinking about new assignments, testing out kind of protocols for assignments that might be hands-on. I will say the 6 courses that we're going to be working on are across the whole school. They represent many schools, lots of different subject areas. So depending on your interests, we try to match up the students with the courses that best suit their interests and their experience. So definitely check that out. All right. Another way to get involved and kind of build your own resume and your experience is advising us. And so I mentioned our student advisory committee is the body that we just started this past year. We've been working with them really well over these last several months to think about, what can we do to improve your experience, to kind of bolster climate sustainability and environmental education and research for students. And they're helping us think through things like how do we make Climate Week even better? So Climate Week is something that our office administers, things like this education task force that I mentioned. And they also are really great about helping us support our events and think of new ideas for the future. And then finally, you can work for us and get paid. So right now we have 2 positions open. We have our Climate Week intern. So as I mentioned, Climate Week is a huge series of events every fall. Right now it's scheduled for October 13th through 17th, but this position we're hiring right now so they can get started working on some of the visibility materials, some of the organization that needs to go in place leading up to Climate Week. So this is a position that will kind of build over time, starting with a part-time, few hours a week and building up as we get closer to Climate Week. The other position we have open right now is an assistant data analyst. So this is someone who will work closely with my colleague Hime Trujillo on some of the data-backed resources that we have, like the faculty database, the course inventory, and then some of the work we do to support researchers in building interdisciplinary collaborative teams. We also have a couple of other student positions that we look to periodically to help us with our communications work. And that's all for me. Little QR code to our newsletter if you're interested, and please do follow us on social media to keep up to date. We also advertise all of our opportunities through our newsletter and through the opportunities section of our website. So check us out. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for all that information. That was excellent. For everyone who's following along, I put the links in the chat, so you're welcome to check out the things that Katie talked about today. Thank you so much. So we are ready to move on to Oscar and the Kleinman Center.
Everyone seeing that? Great.
Yes, looks great.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm here to tell you a little bit about the Kleinman Center for Energy Policy. As I said, we're in our 10th year here on campus, and we do all sorts of student programming that I'm going to tell you a little bit about. We are located in the Fisher Fine Arts Library on up the main staircase. Come by and say hi anytime you're in the building. But bring a jacket because our heating hasn't worked for the last 2 weeks. Great space. We have this is the Energy Forum here, where we have most of our public events, lectures, workshops, many of which are coming up, and I'll tell you about. So the Kleinman Center's mission is to create the conditions for policy innovation that support a just and efficient transition to sustainable energy. And we do that by supporting student research, faculty research. We bring in visitors every year from other universities and industry to spend a week with us, give lectures, meet with students, meet with faculty. And then we now also have an expanded senior fellows program, which is a sort of longer term, year or several year long relationship with researchers outside of the university. Most of our research outputs come in the form of these 3 policy digests. These are longer form write-ups of research that are really intended primarily for folks in Washington or in Harrisburg. We have folks who are directly involved with policymaking. Blogs, which we have a ton of students write blogs. This is something I'll talk a little bit about. Opportunities for you all to contribute to the Kleinman Center's body of literature through student blogs. And then our podcast, which I really encourage you all to listen to. It's a great resource, especially if you're interested in these topics and are working on a project for class or something like that. We now have 9 seasons worth of episodes on all kinds of different topics related to energy. It's 10 years. I've already said that. We've grown dramatically over the last 10 years. Research grants, events. We have a certificate that I'll tell you about, seminars. This is all. We also have faculty. So as of this year, or last year, I guess, last summer, our 3 core faculty have all come to Penn. One, Jennifer Wilcox, was on leave at DOE for several years, but returned this fall. These are really, our core faculty teach courses with us. They are housed at the center. We're somewhat unique in that sense. We operate a little bit like a department. We have our own course code, we have courses, and now we have faculty. This is our staff. So we're a fairly large group. Upcoming visitors. So next week, Jacqueline Patterson, founder and executive director of the Chisholm Legacy Project, is visiting and will be giving participating in a student sort of workshop seminar on Friday next week, right around this time, I think. So if you're free next week and are interested, you can sign up for that on our website. And then the week after that, Niall McDowell, who's a professor of energy systems and engineering at Imperial College London, is visiting, and he will be giving a public lecture on Tuesday, March 4th. You can register for that. Hopefully you all just joined us, I guess a couple weeks now for, was it last week? Yeah, last week for Energy Week. We had a ton of great events. If you didn't join, no problem. It's an annual tradition, so we'll have another week's worth of programming next year. We also are we lead the Penn delegation to COP every year. So COP, Conference of the Parties. This is the annual conference to discuss the Paris Agreement, global decarbonization targets. The country is pulled out of it, but we are still planning to go. So it depends each year how many badges we get, but if you're interested in going and have a sort of a reasonable research interest in going, you can submit sort of a request for one of those badges through our website as well. We have a certificate. So this is a 5-credit certificate that's open to all graduate students at Penn. Like I said, we roster our own courses, and then we also have a list of pre-approved courses in different departments that you can use for this certificate. These are our 6 courses that we roster every year. And then student funding, we give out grants on a quarterly basis, so you can apply for funding to attend a conference or pursue some independent research that you are interested in. The next deadline for student grants is April 1st, I believe. So you definitely check that out and submit if you're looking for some seed funding for something. And then blogs. So we do accept student blogs. We have a form on our website where you can submit your blog. I also encourage you to just email me if you have a blog idea that you'd be interested in writing. If we approve it and publish it, there's I think it's a $300 sort of stipend award that we give you. We have summer fellowships, so every year we hire a single Penn student for each of these opportunities. All of them are closed for this coming summer already, unfortunately, but for following summer, if you're interested, you can apply. And then we are also in the process of hiring or looking for applications for 2 positions for internships with the Kleinman Center. So in our office rather than with one of our partners. Our internships are generally structured, and will be the case for these 2 positions, sort of partially self-guided or loosely monitored research, writing blogs, writing a policy digest, like I've explained, in combination with some more administrative duties that the center really needs help with. So this year we're looking to build out our alumni network and engagement strategy, as well as build out a proposal for some more community engagement outside off of Penn's campus. So students would be working on one or two of those projects in addition to some research of their own on the topic that is most interesting to them. If you're interested in those positions, you can either email me or my colleague Arwen Kozak, who's our new research associate, and let her know that you're interested. Like I said, podcast is a great resource. And then we do have a student listserv, which I send things to occasionally. You can sign up for that here using this these very confusing instructions. And then we're also on social media. And then, oops. And there's my contact info as well if you want to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Oscar. That was really helpful. I put a lot of links in the chat. So students who found any of this interesting, please check out the chat because you can find direct information right there. So our next office is Penn Sustainability. Nina, you will be joining us to chat about what opportunities you have there. So take it away, Nina.
Thanks so much. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, are you seeing the slides?
Yes.
Yes.
You're good.
Awesome. Okay, great. All right. Well, I feel so lucky to talk about this work and to do it in partnership with so many people on this call. Katie and Oscar and Emma have done such amazing work, and it just speaks to the volume of great opportunities here at Penn. So in terms of the Penn Sustainability Office, we really think about the campus and like, how does it function? How do we reach our sustainability goals? So we do that through the development and implementation of Penn's Climate and Sustainability Action Plan. And so our office is charged with facilitating that, communicating, tracking, all of that components, as well as actually doing some of the work as part of that plan. But it actually represents the work of hundreds of people across our campus. And so it's a really great opportunity to work with our office to help really take sustainability and climate issues and put them into practice. So our office is housed in facilities and real estate services. We are a team of 5 full-time staff. And then we also work with a lot of students through internships. We also run an eco-reps program throughout the academic year. We'll have the Civic Sustainability Fellows program, which I'll talk about shortly. And then we even have a student photographer who was hired already for this year, which is great. So I mentioned the Climate Sustainability Action Plan. Hopefully y'all are aware of that, but if not, I'm going to give you just a touch of a background on it. The plan is Penn's path towards carbon neutrality by 2042. It also outlines sustainability goals over the next 5 years across 8 different initiative areas. And so that includes everything from academics, utilities and operations, our physical environment, what we buy at Penn, so procurement, strategic waste, transportation, civic engagement outreach, and as well, for the first time, the health system is now aligned with the Climate Sustainability Action Plan. So, and then the scope, like what is included in the Climate Sustainability Action Plan is the main campus, the University of Pennsylvania Health System, the Morris Arboretum, New Wharton Center, which is where Penn Vet is housed out in the suburbs, as well as any real estate owned properties or Penn owned real estate properties. So the paid summer opportunities that I want to talk to y'all about today, I just want to give you a little bit of background about what does it look like to be an intern with our office. So if any of you are on the MES program, you're going to probably recognize a couple of our interns. So Jonah McDowell is a MES student who's worked with us for a few years now in 2 different functions. He's been our strategic planning intern and has done incredible work at facilitating our student advisory group on the environment. He's helped us so much with sustainability best practices from peer institutions across many topics that helped influence the goals that we set over the next 5 years. He's helped us facilitate the CSAP 4.0 launch and developing tabling and outreach events. and then also been instrumental in our Earth Week programming as well. And then in his capacity as a transportation intern, Jonah helped update our fleet inventory, which is basically a catalog of all the vehicles at Penn, and figuring out how many of them are electric vehicles, how many of them are gas powered, which ones that are gas powered could be good candidates for EVs, and then doing research about different tax opportunities to help reduce the cost of switching from a gas powered vehicle to an electric. So very hands-on practical work. And he's really got to see the whole spectrum of sustainability if you're thinking about it like a campus as a little city. And then one of the other students I wanted to highlight is Seeing Song. She's also an MES student and is our sustainability data intern. Seeing has done a great job pulling a lot of the disparate data that we have into Tableau, helping us with our first waste dashboard, which is currently under construction still. She's also helped us pull our greenhouse gas data into Tableau. She helped create the first green stormwater infrastructure map with GIS. So really like hands-on projects where you take data and apply it. So very interesting work, in my opinion. So if that sounds cool to you, these are some of the summer internships we have available. We have a sustainable labs intern position, which I didn't talk about, but is also really fantastic. It's a great way to save energy and make a big difference. We also have the sustainability data intern is available this summer. We've got a communications intern, an outreach and engagement intern, which is really more focused on the student programming and how to get the word out to students about sustainability, bake it into their daily practices, and then that transportation internship. So most of these positions are actually all of them are up on our website right now. The sustainable labs intern position starts sooner, so I encourage you to apply like immediately if you're interested in that one. And the other ones you can apply by March 3rd. And then the Civic Sustainability Fellows Program. So this is where our office has great relationships with different departments across the city. And so what we've done is we basically pay for a Penn student to work in these various partner agencies to help advance sustainability in their department, but all that work helps advance sustainability in our region. And so this year, our partner organizations are the Philadelphia Energy Authority, Parks and Rec, the School District of Philadelphia, and Philadelphia's Division of Energy and Climate Solutions. So these jobs look very different from one another. Like for the school district, you'll be working on developing eco-school scorecards. And then with the Philadelphia Energy Authority, you're going to be working on the Solarize Philadelphia campaign. Parks and Rec is a new one for us, but it's going to do a lot more around data and understanding like where illegal dumping is happening in the city and things like that. So really, again, practical hands-on projects, which I think are so fascinating. So you have until March 17th to apply for these positions. I highly encourage you to do so. And then if those things aren't quite your situation, we have other ways to get involved. There's the student advisor group for the environment that helps advise on the climate sustainability action plan. There's tons of student groups on that you can join as well. We also lead a pre-orientation program. So that's the students that are just coming into Penn. And we're looking for Penn Green leaders. And so if that's an interest for you, please apply as soon as possible. And then we also have things like the Green Living certification, and we run programs like Move Out Green, so that when you move out at the end of the summer or in the school year, you can donate materials easily rather than leaving them on the curb to make a big old mess. And then we also offer funding for any projects that you have that could potentially benefit Penn's campus, and that's the Green Fund, and it's funding up to $30,000. So that is available to you as well. And then similar to Climate Week that EII takes the lead on in the fall, our office takes the lead on Earth Week in the spring. And so we're running that again this year, April 21st through the 27th. The theme is Our Power, Our Planet. And so we're looking for student events. So please register your event. Or if you've got a student group that wants to host something and you need help, you can also reach out to us. We're happy to talk through ideas. There's even, tabling fairs that if you're not ready to host a whole event, but would love to table, we can help you with that as well. And we are also on the social medias and have a website. So visit those, get to know us, and thanks for taking the time. Oops, stop sharing. Okay.
Thank you so much, Nina. Again, so many opportunities, students, that you could be taking advantage of in the summer, during the academic year. Lots and lots of different ways that you can be getting some excellent experience related to sustainability and the environment. So thank you so much. So we are going to move on to our next speaker, who is Emma from the Water Center.
Awesome. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Perfect. Thanks. And thanks, Dan, for pulling this webinar together and for including the Water Center. We appreciate it. So before I dive into our student opportunities, I'm just going to give a little bit of background on the Water Center. The Water Center is an applied community-focused research center, and we were started about 7 years ago by our executive director, Howard Newcraig, who is the former commissioner and CEO of the Philadelphia Water Department. Right now we have 7 full-time staff members and 7 student research fellows who are working directly on the Water Center set of research projects. We have 13 active research projects right now, and each project focuses on one or more of our core theme areas, which you can see here on the side: water equity, water leadership, water innovation, and climate resilience. And these 5 words in the center really just kind of describe, themes that guide the work that the Water Center does. Community, science, equity, resilience, and justice are kind of our guiding tenets. Getting started on some of our student opportunities. Every year, the Water Center offers several paid research fellow positions that align with our current set of research projects. The focus of these positions changes each year, so as our research projects change. So next academic year's fellow positions won't look exactly the same as these, but they will still be tied directly to our research projects. The 5 positions that you see listed here are the positions that we posted for this academic year. So these are all full at this point. But we do anticipate posting another 2 to 4 positions over the summer to support some upcoming projects that we're working on securing funding for. And we anticipate posting those positions sometime between March and April. So keep an eye out for those. Also just wanted to mention that, part of what we try to offer our research fellows are like being able to walk away from these positions with some concrete examples of work that they can point to. And so this paper is a really good example of that. This was written by one of our research fellows last semester on strategies for communicating and managing PFAS contamination. This is another example of a policy brief that was supported by several of our graduate research fellows that was published this semester. And in the case of both of these publications, the research fellows are listed as authors on their report. And also just want to give a quick shout out here. Thank you, Katie and EII. This work was born out of the research community that the Water Center that is a part of, that's focused on nature-based solutions in an urban setting. Outside of our paid research fellow positions, the Water Center also presented a Student Innovation Award for the first time this past October, and we plan to award it again next academic year. For this, we solicited proposals for innovative ideas from students in both undergraduate and graduate categories that align with some identified theme areas. The areas will likely change next year, but for this prize, the theme areas were water reuse, PFAS and emerging contaminants, energy efficiency and water treatment, and nature-based solutions in urban waterways. We chose a set of finalists who presented at our annual Careers in the Water Industry event, and we ultimately selected 2 winners, 1 undergraduate and 1 graduate student, who won $2,000 each in prize money to support their continued research around their proposed innovation. And we expect to be presenting some final output from both of them this April. In addition to our paid opportunities, we also have a few more informal opportunities for students to engage. And one of those is through a student-led club called Penn Club H2O, which is focused on driving action to help solve global water challenges. The club is actively recruiting new members, and it's open to both undergraduate and graduate students. And it's a great way to get involved if you have less kind of formal experience in like sustainability or water space, but are just interested in learning more and networking with a group of students. Another club opportunity is Penn's chapter of Engineers Without Borders. This is a group that does some like international service learning projects to help communities meet their basic needs through engineering projects. I know they have really strong connections in Guatemala, so a lot of their work has been focused there. But they also do work in like water, sanitation, and hygiene projects elsewhere. They also focus a little bit more locally in Philadelphia and around campus to promote sustainable practices. So a really great way to get some hands-on experience. Outside of club opportunities, the Water Center also offers student career advising services to any students who are interested. Joanne Spigonardo, who you can see here on screen, is a senior advisor at the Water Center. And she has a wealth of experience in the corporate sector and also across Penn, and she's a really great person to chat to if you're interested in water career advising, mentorship opportunities, and more. You can see some of the details on how to engage with her here. I think there's also a link in the chat as well to our website. In addition to career advising opportunities, the Water Center also hosts a Careers in the Water Industry event every October. The logos that you see on the screen right now are all of the organizations that tabled at our event last year. And this academic year, or next academic year, we'll be holding the event during Climate Week in October. And it's a really great opportunity to learn more about career pathways in the water sector, network with companies and nonprofit organizations, and just learn a little bit more. And finally, the Water Center is hosting our second annual Spring Water Policy Forum on April 3rd. Registration is free for students, and it includes a networking lunch. And our theme for the forum this year is navigating turbulent waters, managing the compounding water system challenges facing local leaders in the Northeast megaregion. We're still building out our set of speakers. We expect to have about 10 speakers total, but so far the two that we have confirmed are Paul Bodner, who's the Director of Sustainable Finance, Industry, and Diplomacy at the Bezos Earth Fund, and Sean LaTourette, who is the Commissioner of New Jersey's Department of Environmental Protection. So registration is open, and all of our speakers are staying for a networking lunch that's really geared towards students and just designed to give you a more informal opportunity to connect with some local leaders in the water and environmental space. So hope to see some of you there if you're able to make it. And finally, the best way to stay engaged is just to sign up for our mailing list. So you can see the QR code on the screen now. You'll also see my email address on screen, so please feel free to shoot me an email if you have any questions or want to engage deeper. We're also on social media. Those are kind of the best ways to stay engaged with all of the programming that the Water Center has. And I will stop there, and thank you all for having me.
Thank you so much, Emma. Again, everyone in the presentation today is giving so many amazing links, and I'm putting them all in the chat, so you can feel free to take a look at those and learn a little bit more. So thank you again, Emma. Last but not least, we have Jillian from Wharton ESG, and she's going to share a little bit about the opportunities there.
Great. Thank you so much, Diane. And I'm just so in awe of like all these awesome opportunities that all of these offices have been sharing. So I hope for students on the call that you're taking lots of good notes and clicking on these links, because there's a lot of really exciting stuff going on campus. And I'm excited to tell you a little bit more about the opportunities that we have at the Wharton ESG initiative. All right. Again, my name is Jillian Seener. I'm the Director of Student Programs, and I want to start off by kind of just making sure we're all on the same page with the term ESG. We define ESG as the explicit and systematic consideration of material, environmental, social, and governance information as part of the strategy and investment decision-making process. So what does that actually mean kind of in the context of the interest of students on this call? So we ask key environmental questions like, how can we use AI to combat climate change? Or how will climate change affect the value of homes? Or how can we design more cost-effective trading markets for renewable energy? So really this intersection of finance and business and the environment, climate, and sustainability. So as a research center within Wharton, we have three main pillars. One, of course, is research with academic and industry partners. We also engage with industry leaders. But my role is, and what I'll tell you a little bit more about today, is our curricular and extracurricular programming for Penn and Wharton students. So just want to be very clear that even though we're housed within Wharton, our programs are open to students all across Penn and Wharton. I imagine there's lots of MES students on the call today. We always have a great showing of MES students in our programs. So I'll share a little bit more about what those opportunities are. And if you're perusing our website, you might see that we have 4 research centers and labs, including the Wharton Climate Center. So if you're interested in kind of the more curricular or research side of what we do, you'll want to head over to that kind of sublink within our website and see the great work that our faculty are doing. So as I mentioned, as Director of Student Programs, we have a variety of extracurricular programs, and there are 4 that are open to graduate students that are either directly or indirectly kind of E in nature. I am going to go into each of these a little bit more in detail. We do have lots of other kind of events and research opportunities and work opportunities throughout the year that tend to come up a little bit more ad hoc, and the best way to get in the know about those is to sign up for our newsletter. I think Diane is going to be sending around links or a way for you to sign up or indicate that you'd like to get signed up. But these 4 programs in particular run every year, and so I'm happy to share a little bit more about those with you now. So our Turner Impact Portfolio Challenge, or TIPC, is a year-long kind of learning and competition program that's actually open to any graduate student at Penn and actually around the country as well. So if you're joining us back on campus next year and you're interested in this program, you'll create a team within Penn, and you'll be given an investor profile, so an ESG conscious investor, and it will be up to you to kind of construct that ideal portfolio for them. Now, a degree or background in finance is not a requirement to participate in this program. Like I said, we have lots of MES students and non-MBA students participate every year, but some kind of baseline understanding or at least an interest in how capital can be aligned to impact is very helpful. There is a Canvas site that we enroll you in with readings and webinars and other ways for you to learn, but we've heard just from students in the past that some baseline interest is very helpful. So at the end of the year, after you've kind of learned how to build this portfolio and you've built it with your team, you'll actually compete for the opportunity to pitch your presentation to industry professionals. That competition happens on Wharton's campus every April. And throughout the year, you'll also receive guidance and mentoring from lots of guest speakers and Bank of America coaches. So it is, again, a year-long experience. It's a little bit more asynchronous, which we found for grad students can be a good thing. You have a lot of cool opportunities going on that fill up your schedule, but there is still plenty of learning and support available through this program. Another competition that we have that's similar in format, it runs from October through April. It is a little bit more asynchronous. It's our Turner MBA Impact Investing Training and Networking Program. Takes a long time to say, so we call it Turner Mint. And again, even though it has MBA in the name, it is not only open to MBA students. This is open to any grad student across Penn. And again, it's a worldwide competition. So you'll create a team within Penn and source and conduct due diligence on companies that combine impact with a compelling business model. This is, like I said, asynchronous, but it's a little more hands-on because really no kind of baseline knowledge of impact investing or finance is required. We have lots of modules that we run throughout the year. There's a Canvas site. So you'll learn all about impact management, measurement practices, early stage evaluation models, and so on and so forth. And then in April, again, we host the competition on campus where you'll come and compete for a $50,000 investment into the company featured in your group's presentation. So while not explicitly environmental or sustainability in nature, of course, so many of the companies that we see presented every year are. And so if that's of your interest, this is a great program to be involved in. And now I'll share a little bit more about 2 other programs that we run that are kind of in-person, synchronous, a little bit more time intensive. The first of those is our Wharton ESG Integration Projects, or WEEP. They begin in the fall and last for either 1 or 2 semesters, again, open to any Penn and Wharton student. And you'll be placed onto a team of about 5 students where you'll work with a real client on an ESG or impact investing related problem or question. So those projects and clients do change every year, but we always have a lot of E projects, since that is, of course, such an important kind of area for all of us to be engaged in that work. So here are some examples of past environmental or sustainability projects that we've hosted through WEEP. So we've had students create a landscape analysis of certain states' demand for renewable energy. We've had another team identify market trends for the oil and gas industry over the next 5 years. We've had another team develop an internal and external growth strategy for a local energy nonprofit, and another team that identified and analyzed different methodologies for measuring sustainability. So again, the projects will vary. Can't guarantee that any of the ones that I mentioned as examples will necessarily be offered again in the fall, but we're always growing the program, adding new projects, adding new clients that range anywhere from local nonprofits to international asset managers. So definitely keep it on your radar if that sounds of interest to you. And our final program that might be interesting to you all on the call is our Wharton Impact Venture Associates, or WEVA program. It's another year-long program that's open to any student on campus. And it's really geared towards those who are interested in impact investing and who want to have like a more intense, in-depth learning experience. So you'll meet weekly, you'll learn how to source early stage companies that have, again, this compelling business model and the potential for a significant impact. And what's really cool about this program too is that promising companies that are identified by WEVA students then can be connected to crowdfunding platforms to hopefully gain investment through those platforms. We do have 2 tracks with WEVA. One is a general track and one is a climate track. So some areas of focus for the climate track include renewable energy, carbon sequestration, circular economy, and climate resilience. So that's just a very quick overview of 4 of our extracurricular programs that run every year. Again, the best way to stay in the know about any other events or one-off opportunities that come up will be by signing up for our newsletter. But here is my email address as well, and so please feel free to reach out with any questions. And I'll stop sharing now. I think we might go to Q&A for everyone.
Thank you so much. It's almost overwhelming how many opportunities there are for students to take advantage of. So many of our speakers today mentioned that their offices had newsletters, and all of you got a survey earlier this week from me asking if you would like to be on their newsletter, but I will drop the Qualtrics survey in the chat. And so anyone who would like to join one of these listservs or newsletters, feel free to fill out this Qualtrics survey and let us know, and we will make sure that you get added. So we have about 4 minutes here until we're trying to wrap up. So if there are any questions, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A. Here we go. There is a question about the ISAC fellowship, which I think, Katie, is something that comes out of your office. And then a few questions about Penn sustainability and the Turner Impact Portfolio Challenge. So Katie, if you want to take number 1, and then we'll move on to the next one.
Yeah, so for the ISAC fellowship, it's not preferred for work study. It's open to any Penn undergraduate or graduate student.
Great, thank you. Question about applying to internships at Penn Sustainability. Nina says she'll take a look at that and see what she can do. And then Jillian, quick question about the Turner Impact Portfolio Challenge.
Yep, absolutely. So we do recommend a minimum of 3 students on every team and a maximum of 5. Just because if something comes up with a member of your team, we wouldn't want a team of 2 to be reduced to a team of 1, and then you have a lot of work to do on your own. But if you are having trouble finding kind of another person for your team, you might not be alone, right? We might have heard from other students who are looking to add to their team. So always encourage you to reach out to our office. The application opens usually every September, and it will close in October. And it's really more so about just telling us who is on your team so that we can get you registered for campus.
Great, thank you. Good question. As we wait to see if there are other questions, again, I encourage anyone who has not registered already to register for next week's All Ivy Environmental and Sustainable Development Career Fair at Columbia University. They are also hosting a panel on Wednesday evening about a virtual panel on Zoom about careers in sustainable finance. And so if you have an interest in that, I would encourage you to take a look at those links, which I'm dropping in the chat now. Any final questions, attendees?
Hi, Diane. Would it be okay if I unmute and not drop this question?
Sure, go ahead.
Thanks. So this question is for Katie. Hi, Katie. The thing is that work study, I think it's not it does not mean graduate or undergraduate students. I believe work study students are those that have U.S. residency or are green card holders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Studi. Hi, Studi, by the way.
Hey.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But yeah, I did see on our website, we do have that language preferred, but it's not a requirement for applying to ISAC. So anyone is, any Penn student is open to applying for ISAC.
Okay. Thank you so much, Katie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for the clarification. Jeffrey has a question about opportunities that are asynchronous and don't require you to be an MBA. Does that flexibility include alums who are not currently enrolled at Penn?
Yep, I can speak to that, at least for our programs. They are only for current students, but we do always like to engage with alum anyway. So if you're an alum or you know an alum who's interested in being a speaker to current students or mentoring a team of students, please reach out or feel free to share my email with anyone you know that might fit that category.
Great, thank you for clarifying. So I greatly thank our speakers for taking the time to share. Hopefully students on the call today are seeing how many opportunities there are for you to get experience on Penn's campus through our many offices, both through internships, through fellowships, through student clubs, lots and lots of ways for you to gain experience. And these are all things that you can eventually put on a resume. So I thank you all for taking the time today. And please sign up for other programs next week, and everyone have an excellent weekend.